Hello everyone, it's the me, GamePango21, and today, well, we gotta talk about some more internet discourse that's happened this week, and specifically, we're gonna be again looking at the PlayStation fanboys who have just been all sorts of dumb today. Now, what are we specifically talking about? Well, there are three little topics that I didn't think deserved their own video, but all of which I have enough to fill in one video because all three of them are just worth talking about. The first one being Hellblade 2, stuck at 30 FPS. The next one being having to do with the port of Sea of Thieves coming over to PlayStation and a little bit of that. And finally, a little bit of Helldivers 2 tweet that I just wanted to throw in because it was really funny to me. In all honesty, again, this is just for funsies and it's just jokes and stuff, but obviously there are things in here that I'm going to be talking about. So, yeah. But I gotta get a little bit of the shill out of the way because it's helping and because it's making my channel grow a little bit, and I do appreciate every one of you here. Looking to hit 1K subscribers by the end of the year. Please hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video, and comment and do that stuff. I always try to respond to comments and stuff. And I do love and appreciate all of you. Number 2, I do make music. I have all of that linked down in the description, usually to the Bandcamp. If you want to listen to some more of it, I'm looking to maybe release one more album by the end of the year, because I continuously say that I'm sitting on albums and stuff, and got kicked up the butt for that. And number 3, I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/GamePango21. Links down to that also in the description below. I do mainly stream only on the weekends, so make sure that you are there for that. I might start streaming more, but quite honestly, I don't know if I will. I'm not consistent, so just follow me over there and come by and see me live whenever you can. In any case, let's get into this video. Starting off, of course, with this idle sloth tweet. Now, this tweet is way too long to go over completely, so the main point that we're going to be talking about for this section here is the fact that Hellblade 2 only runs at 30 FPS with dynamic resolution on Xbox Series S and X with no graphics modes, and the only way to change the graphics and to get a higher FPS is actually on the PC. And the reason being is that the experience is made to feel more, quote, cinematic and similar to movies that run at 24 frames per second. And again, this is according to a GamePro article. I believe that that's from Dutch. I don't know specifically where it's from. This is the link and things. And again, unsure if they actually said this, but here's the thing. The basic premise as to why this is bad, at least in the current day, is the sheer fact that 24 FPS is pretty much unacceptable for that. And there was some other people that have broken this down before, but mainly the reason why 24 FPS/30 FPS why 30 FPS works in movies versus not works in in gaming is because 24 FPS works in movies because it is a static image that you kind of view from a distance, and that is the minimum amount that you need in order to perceive motion. However, for video games, it doesn't work because of the shifting perspective, and that actually makes the thing feel more choppy and can actually hurt the entirety of the game experience. Again, there's more other people that have done this, so again, that 30 FPS thing is inexcusable, at least in the current day, especially since Microsoft has done that. But of course, the PlayStation fanboys don't really care about that because they have to basically point everything out, and I didn't find any Xbox people complaining about this, so before you ask, sorry. But starting off, of course, with the generic Eric here, who has said, just wait for the PS5 version. It'll have 60 and FPS and 120 FPS modes. I couldn't imagine being an Xbot waiting for a big time exclusive only for it to be 5 hours long, 30 FPS, and eventually be ported to the PS5. So much for eating monsters. To which I have to say, where is your insider? As well as the fact of, well, how do you know it's going to come to the PlayStation 5 at all? Like, again, they've only said that there are only the 4 games that are going to be released, and that's barring the fact that obviously those games are pretty much doing well. I mean, I don't know if they would bring Hellblade 2 over. I mean, they haven't even brought Hellblade 1 over, and that was probably a quote-unquote smaller project that's over to it that they probably should have ported over there anyway. With the next one being from the same person saying, "Hey Xbox, spin this. Hellblade 2 was worked on for almost a decade. A team that dedicated to this title, 5 hours long, linear, has no ray tracing, and is 30 FPS. Spider-Man 2 took 5 years when developing 2 other titles, a port and a DLC, 30 hours long, open world, ray tracing in all modes, and 120 FPS. Now, I don't really need to dig deep to really figure out why Spider-Man 2, and Hellblade 2 are basically not really that much comparable. I mean, again, he already kind of spelled it out here. One is a linear thing, and they probably built a lot of the assets out from the ground up, mostly, at least probably the environments. So I get that as well, where they say that it's been worked on for almost a decade, where, they actually said that it was like 6 years rather than the 5 years. So, 1 year difference. But also, in that same thing for Spider-Man 2 taking 5 years, the developing of 2 other titles. I don't think that Insomniac was developing 2 other titles. If they were, if I'm remembering correctly, they were only really developing the Wolverine one, and I don't think that they were developing the Spider-Man 3 as of that point. The port was developed by Nixies, or the port was being worked on by Nixies. DLC, which, again, that might have been done by a separate team, as well as a 30 hours long open world and a ray tracing stuff. And the team dedicated might have been actually smaller. You don't really know. Like you can easily not have this sort of thing talking about. And before all of you are like, "Oh, well, where'd you get that weird 6 years from?" The great entered cheat code basically said, someone's got to explain to me, after a 6-year development trillion-dollar company backing first-party resources, the leap isn't anything like these leaps, and then lists out Spider-Man, The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, Ratchet & Clank, which, looking at all of these titles, there's not a huge leap there either. I mean, Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 was just kind of not really a leap. The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, no, I don't see a leap there either. It was pretty much the same kind of game. God of War and God of War Ragnarok, maybe. Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West basically looked like the same game to me. And Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart had that magical SSD, which we all know is actually bull crap. And what's weird is that most of the titles, if not all of the titles on there, right, have been ported to the PC, at least the first games, for most of these games. The sequels for some of them haven't been, but the Horizon games have both been ported over, and they both look about the same, and run a lot better on the PC. Just saying. Next up, we've got Tipster here with, for a 2024 game, Helldivers 2 can't get global illumination correct, and this is just plain embarrassing, where it's PS4 at 2015 with an Xbox at 2024. And one thing that I have to point out here is that if you look at them side by side, one has obviously seemingly been bit meshed to crap, and I can pretty much tell because I've used Photoshop. But number 2 is that one is clearly a fucking tech demo, which was made in like that and wasn't even worth the price, and I think was actually a full price launch title for the PS4, which is this one is more of a $30 experience, but still has some problems. Again, that 30 FPS thing is going to be one of the biggest talking points about this for a while. Next up here, we've got Unleashed saying, "Don't worry, Hellblade 2 will run at 60 FPS on PS5 Pro." Of course, he's spinning that narrative of, the game's going to be on the PS5 Pro. So you're saying that it's going to be very good and much better on your platform because you think that it will be? But I also want to point out that they also, I also wanted to point out that this, because Unleashed has also tried to spin this weird narrative before, and a lot of other times, with this next one being Call of Duty is dying, Xbox is responsible for its decay, Helldivers 2 has obliterated Call of Duty, ouch, and then retweets, or rather basically gives out this tweet of someone saying that Warzone Mobile has been down 67% from Call of Duty Mobile, which Warzone may have mixed Xbox internal projections, which, let me be clear here, right? That's not necessarily Microsoft's fault, because I think that was like some of the lingering Activision stuff here that they were trying to milk the franchise, I guess. But let me be 100% transparent with this, right? You're trying to use a mobile game to say that the Call of Duty franchise is dying. I don't trust a lot of the opinions of Unleashed, and I think you can tell why. Next up, we've got Tipster again with I've seen Xbox fanatics claiming how Hellblade 2 looks better than Horizon Forbidden West. Boy, they couldn't be more wrong. Let me just give you a reminder where it's a linear 8-hour game at 30 FPS with an open 40-hour game at 60 FPS, which, look, here's the thing. Graphics themselves, at least to me, are very subjective to people. You can have a game that looks like ass to some people, but to other people is like, this game looks fucking amazing. It really depends on what you are looking for in a game. If you're looking for more style, I'm looking for more interesting visuals, there are definitely games out there. Like, for me, one of the games that I personally like is actually, again, the Finals. And to make a long story short, the Finals does look really cool and play really fun, but it's not like the greatest looking game in the world. I mean, it looks pretty at times, and the destruction mechanics are fantastic, but it's not like the biggest game to a lot of people, at least to the people out there. And again, it's free to play, so people are like, oh, well, it's a free to play game, so I won't give it too much mind. But yeah, so graphics themselves are subjective. But, yeah. Going over back to the Dead Pirate Roberts here, we have, sure, Hellblade 2 doesn't have a performance mode, but at 30 FPS, it will set a new standards in graphics that the PS5 will never reach at any frame rate. And obviously, this is a troll. Obviously, this is a person that's been pointing this sort of stuff out. And obviously, this person is, like, trying to engagement farm 110%. So, you know, I can't really fault him for that, but I mean, again, as if there has been any sort of not lies that, as any been sort of quote unquote truths and things where the PlayStation people have been touting for their longest times here to be able to produce a great looking, amazing experience, but yet hasn't delivered on that. Anyway, moving on, we next have the PlayStation exclusive cosmetics for Sea of Thieves, which has been basically confirmed. Now, this is from this is a retweet from the Sea of Thieves official channel, where they do have shared crossplay, and you have crossplay opt-in and opt-out, and shared progression. However, one of, if not the biggest things that a lot of people have been talking about here is the cosmetics of the Ruby Viper weapon set, along with the Dauntless Adventure sales and title will not work if you acquire and swap over to the Xbox or PC. These are completely exclusive to the PS5. You must be on PS5 for them to be visible to you, apparently. And let me just be honest here, that's, again, dumb and stupid and fucking I'm not going to say it, but you know the other words that I would want to say. So we're going to have to go through a few other of these tweets because, quite honestly, let's just laugh at fucking Microsoft here. So we then have someone coming out here with an autumn vibe being like, let's bring everyone together. You thought, lol. You should be able to use the Xbox set and the PS5 set and vice versa. You should be able to access all cosmetics you purchase on any device you're on. Do you realize how many pre-orders will be canceled because of this? I don't think a lot will be actually canceled because of this. I just think that a lot of people will be very fucking upset because, well, they already have the game on other stuff. Now, I'm unsure as to why they made this decision overall. It might have been some sort of contracting decision for one reason or another, which, you know, makes some level of sense, but at the same time, it makes no fucking sense at all. And, to be quite honest, there really is no reason to keep a cosmetic of a PlayStation like exclusive at all. And I've never understood the whole exclusive cosmetic content for that, even when Call of Duty was doing it. I had a lot more tweets to talk about, but quite honestly, I'm getting to the end of my rope here, and I wanted to talk about this one because I wanted to cap this off with a really funny tweet here. That being Helldivers Alerts. Now, I don't know if Helldivers Alert is an actual like official Helldivers like the Helldivers channel or whatever, but one of the things is that they brought up this interesting this interesting little debate again, where they basically said this is from an official kind of source, but not exactly, where they said, we need reinforcements and we need Xbox citizens with this, I believe, AI generated or at least edited picture of the Helldivers putting up the Xbox thing. And I think this was meant as a way to get, a sort of attention for that. And again, I'm unsure if the Helldivers actual ones will be that. But I wanted to go through this because the comment section of this obviously was really fucking hilarious. That being from a man by the name of Johnson Jr. saying, nah, we good, tell them to buy a PS5. Or I'm gonna be like, or buy a PC. But, I mean, to each their own, I guess. But I saw a lot of things like this with another person of RGTV saying, nah, we don't take a look at war and table everything is under control. We don't need to call in the reserves. Sure. More players playing this game would be a bad thing. Absolutely, dude. 110%. The Surgeon then responds with a, no, just on PS5 or PC, and in the name of democracy, they need unity and not a wasted resource is the forces of Xbox. Wow. So, putting in the time to get more money out of your game would be a waste of resources? Really? I mean, really? Next up, we've got an Alan here with an I did my part and bought a PS3. Those who don't are traitors. I believe he meant to say PS5 here. I don't know if that was a typo, but I am 90% certain that that's supposed to be. Or it's either a joke, but I just think that that's funny. But what's interesting is that I also saw a couple of tweets that were actually saying correct, but Chris obviously here, I have to bring this one up saying, how about no, with the Dr. Evil meme, which, you know, that's just really funny to see. But I did see a couple of people, and a lot more people than I thought, saying that they actually should. The person here for Third Thundo Torn, I think, I'm pronouncing that name wrong, most definitely, saying, I agree, bring in the Xbox gamers with the ODSTS. Nothing in our galaxy will stand against us. Bring on the Xbox divers. And then the next one, I think that Ryth here kind of sums up my thoughts on this more or less perfectly. Saying, the amount of people bitching in the comment section out of spite over which plastic box is better is dumb as fuck. Let them in. Let the Xbox lads play. It's not a competition. Stop gatekeeping, you fucking idiots. And I agree. That's, I think, the whole point of this video, and that's, I think, a whole big through line for mainly this channel, but also this video more specifically. But yeah, stop fucking being dicks about it. And it's not hard. It's really not hard. And honestly, I think that more people playing video games is just fun and nice to have. But again, the whole thing with people shitting on Xbox and people shitting on everyone else is like, it's the weirdest thing, at least to me. I know that I might be a little biased, and I probably am because I came from the Xbox, but I basically decided to switch over to PC because I didn't like Xbox's thing anymore, and it didn't really have any games that interested me anymore, and I think that a lot of people agree that when the thing doesn't interest you, you don't like to play it or really engage with it. And again, this is only really from the PlayStation guys. I barely see any Xbox people, at least on my Twitter timeline, bitching, moaning, and complaining about stuff, or at least the things I think about, or at least maybe I'm not searching hard enough. I probably haven't, and I most definitely have covered Xbox fanboys in the past, most definitely, but at the end of the day, I agree with that comment of it's fucking stupid to yell at people about which plastic box is quote-unquote better, even though we've established that this is not necessarily true. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that I'm about done talking your ear off, and quite honestly, I'm very tired because this is a little bit early in the morning, and I have the coffee and caffeine has not kicked in yet. So, yeah, I think that I will end it off there. If you like what it is that I do, again, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. I'm looking to hit again by 1K subscriber by the end of the year. If you want to listen to some music, links down to that in the description below. If you want to come by and see me on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GamePenguin21. And like I said at the top of the video, guys, I am just fucking tired. But I am going to be doing more video-based content later and less Twitter content, hopefully. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching yet again. My name is GamePenguin21, and a peace off.